Hello, and welcome back. This video is about selecting a tower with the mouse. And a special thanks to all my supporters. Thank you for helping me help others. To start, we're going to want to duplicate this code in the player blueprint. So in here, we can copy this or cut it, because duplicating code is generally a bad idea. We're going to go in here, we're going to right click, we want to create a function library. So you might think up here in blueprint class, you go in here, you look for function library. Like, okay, blueprint function library, good. Wait, why is there no select button? You can select this one, but not that one. That's because the way it actually created is in here through blueprint function library. So we're just going to call this BPFL utility. And all this is a container for functions with no data. So we'll call this get tower under mouse. We'll throw the code in here. This function is going to return a Boolean called isFound. And the tower base object reference. We'll just call that tower. So with that, it didn't auto add a return. We'll add return node. And I put it in input instead of output, so let's correct that. So when we do not find anything, well, we don't find a tower underneath the mouse cursor, we just return false. We can return false and null or none. If it's unable to cast to a tower because somehow it found something else, we'll return the same thing. And lastly, when it finds it successfully, there we go. So with that done, we can then in here just call get tower under mouse. Probably should call the get tower under cursor. And here our logic is simply if it's true, that's when we're setting it to new tower. So in the case of our player, which is where our input is going to be, we're first also going to have similar functions to the tower. We're going to have a select tower. This will take an input of tower. Just tower base. And then we also have unselect tower. In our event graph here, so we don't have any enhance input or anything like that set up in this project. We will probably do that in the future. But for now, the functions like this still work. Mouse event, left mouse button. So in this case, we're just going to, when we click the button, we're going to get the tower under the mouse. If that is found, we want to select the tower. And in the case where we are just clicking outside of a tower, we want to unselect the tower. So what select tower then does, among other things, is we will promote this to a variable called selected tower. We're going to control drag that in, make sure the one that we're sending in is not the same as the one we had previously saved. So if we clicked on the same tower that we already have saved, we just have a false condition and nothing happens. That's fine. If we've clicked on a new tower, then the first thing we're wanting to do is call Unselect Tower. That will unselect the currently selected tower. We're then going to set the new tower variable, selected tower variable, to get the tower we just sent in. And lastly, we will call select on that tower. The unselect tower is first we are checking to make sure that our selected tower is valid. If it is not valid, we have nothing to select, so it doesn't matter. If it is, then we want to call unselect on that tower. And then we can set our selected tower back to null or none. I'll just go back into tower, make sure I don't still have the code that just selects it. I do not. So I click here, it selects that tower, shows the UI. Click on another one, it shows that UI. If you click on a button, nothing's happening as far as selecting stuff. So you can see there's a little overlap here. The one bit of code is finding the highlight, but the mouse click itself is not selecting that. That is because in here, this function is not being called when the UI intercepts that button press. So then the only real condition for here is when you select it outside of UI and select it on no other tower. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and would like to see more, you know what to do. And if you would like to support this channel, watch these videos 2 weeks early, or just want to download the project files, you can do so through my Patreon linked below.